Boom, we are live. All right, so welcome. I am Coach Casey. Tonight we're going to be talking about preparing your immune system for battle. And the reason why I chose this is because right now a lot of us, well, everybody is living a how do I want to put it, a bubble wrapped life. And what I mean is, I'm talking to a group that's exercising, so that's not going to be a portion of this, which we all know helps the immune system. But we're Lysoling everything, we're hand sanitizing everything, we're killing every germ we possibly can in this period of time. But we're living, like I said, in this, how do I want to put it? Just kind of like this false sense of reality, because in a minute, like we're opening up, not next Monday, the Monday after, the 18th. So there's a lot of people who have been kind of sheltered for the last, 8 weeks or so. And like I said, killing every germ they come in contact with, good or bad. And then we're going to go back into the wild, back, around other people, and our immune system is not going to be as strong as it could be. So that's why I wanted to do this topic, because this is something we're all going to be facing here really soon, if not already. So let me share my screen here. Let me get boom, there she is. So I am a man who loves PowerPoint, just so you know. What is that? What is this? I'll close that. There we are. So the name of this topic is preparing your immune system for battle. So we need to be making sure, and I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, because like I said, a lot of you guys are already doing a lot of the things you can do, but maybe there's a couple nuggets you could take from this that you can add to your already healthy lifestyle. Now, I keep mentioning I'm preaching to the choir because it's Friday night. It's 9:30 out here, and you guys are watching a seminar on your immune system. So that kind of tells me where your mindset's at already. All right, so it's not, we're 6 hours into Netflix right now, and we're still wearing our pajamas from yesterday. So with my Marine Corps background, I really resonated with turning this into kind of a big military analogy. So I hope you guys, and if you have any questions along the way, please comment in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer them. But hopefully you can follow along. But it just it was such a simple analogy for me, such a simple comparison in using the military alongside your immune system. So the first thing I want to do in this seminar is kind of break down what is our immune system is comprised of. Okay, so the way I put that is, I want you to meet your army, and I hate using the word army, but since I'm a Marine, but for this, all intents and purposes, this is what we got. So here are the main parts of your immune system. You got your white blood cells, your antibodies, your complement system, your lymphatic system, your spleen, your bone and marrow, and your thymus. So some of these I'm going to go pretty deep into, and others I'm just going to gloss over, all right? And once again, I'm going to put kind of a military feel on each one. And we're going to start with the white blood cells. Like, what are they all about? They are our grunts. So this picture really resonates with me, because that is the machine gun that I used to carry in the Marine Corps. So here's what the white blood cells are all about. They're the key players in our immune system. They're made up in the bone marrow, and they're part of the lymphatic system. They are the things that attack anything that comes into our body that's foreign, okay? They move through the blood and tissue looking for foreign invaders, microbes, bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungi, and when they find them, they attack and they try to kill. Oh, sorry. And then there's different types of white blood cells. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much into the weeds, but so they are our grunts. They're the ones on the front line that go after the bad guys. Anything that comes into our system that's foreign, your white blood cells are immediately dispersed to try to get rid of them. Now, the antibodies, these are like your radar guys, the guys who are sitting in front of the screen looking for the microbes, the viruses, the bacteria, the fungi. So once they find a substance or a microbe, they mark it, and then that's when the white blood cells go after it. Okay, I see I have a chat. Oh, thanks, Meg. So that's their job. They're sitting in the background just watching. And then all of a sudden, you know, something comes into your body that's not supposed to be there. They pinpoint it, and then they send the white blood cells out to go get them. Now your lymphatic system, this is the general. This is the guy that controls everything, all right? This is the guy that manages the fluid levels inside your body. This is the guy that reacts to the bacteria. These are the guy that deals with cancer cells. And what the lymphatic system is made up of are like your lymph nodes, which if you guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys all remember like having swollen glands, right? And that's what you're looking for. Basically, whenever you feel like your lymph nodes swollen or hard, like BBs, your body's attacking something. That's where your body like tries to trap these funguses, these viruses, these microbes, whatever you want to call them. All right. Oh, man. So then, I'm sorry, here we are. Then we got our spleen. Basically, so the analogy here is that's your armory. All right. So the spleen is in charge of removing the microbes or anything that got damaged from the microbes. Microbes being the virus, the bacteria, the fungi. So, and it also helps with making more white blood cells or the lymphocytes. And that's its job, is to kind of support and get rid of the bad things. Okay, then you have your bone marrow. So this is a picture of boot camp. This is where the white blood cells are made. Same with the red blood cells. So this is like the housing of all the where everything's created and then released. That's why, guys, if it's really hard to come back from a broken femur, because the femur is the biggest bone in the body in your leg. That's the largest bone in your body. So when you break it, the fear is all that bone marrow is going to die. And once again, that's the largest bone in your body. And if that bone marrow dies, that's a large portion of bone marrow that develops white blood cells and the T cells to help protect you from getting sick. So that's always a fear when there's a femur injury. Then you got your thymus. So this is an MP at the front gate. It filters and monitors your blood content. It's monitoring all the blood in your system. It's watching the red blood cells. It's watching the white blood cells. It produces more white blood cells. So the whole idea here is this guy is just, it's filtering the bad out. It's really watching, making sure nothing is inside the blood. Okay? So now I wanted to run through that real quick. is basically like what your immune system is comprised of. It's, you know, because it's typically just a general, like we always talk about our immune system just as a unit, but each part of the immune system has a job and they all support each other. All right. So now it's all about sharpening the sword, and here's different ways to strengthen your immune system. So now our troops have to get tough. They have to get strong. They have to stay strong because they're about to go into battle the minute this world opens back up. Okay. And so that's kind of the fear with this whole thing. And this is something that's been talked about a little bit, is the fact that we've been really sanitizing everything, you know, for obvious reasons, but there could be blowback from that because things that we normally would be able to fight off, we might not be as strong because our immune system has been kind of on vacation as much as we have during this time. So it's been kind of relaxed because we've been taking a lot of its job away from it. And so it's not been staying sharp. It hasn't been staying strong. So we need to make sure we're doing all the little things we can to keep it as strong as possible so that when we re-enter and we come in contact with certain things, it's not knocking us down. Okay? So first one's first. And we beat this one over the head all the time when it comes to everything we do, and that's get more sleep. You know, this is when, I'm sure we've talked about this, but this is when your body recovers, is when you sleep. So during the day, your body is just constantly working, and it finally gets to shut down and start repairing when you sleep. All right. So I just have some stats here. There was a study in 164 healthy adults who slept fewer than 6 hours. They were more likely to catch a cold than those who slept 6 or more. And so a little lower, you'll see adults, we should be getting 7 hours plus. Hopefully during this time, if you've been quarantined and not have been deemed essential, that hopefully you are catching up on sleep. All right. And the younger we get, the more sleep we need. We're not growing anymore, but our teens need 8 to 10 hours, and then younger kids need 10 plus. So we got our sleep. Now we got to make sure we're hitting healthy fats. All right. You're going to hear this a lot during tonight, talking about inflammation. Inflammation is your body reacting to repair something. Like on a small scale, this is why I didn't put exercise in here, because we're all exercising. But when we exercise, we're tearing muscle fibers. That causes inflammation. The body repairs. Inflammation is your body trying to repair something. And that's fine to a small degree. But and you guys know this, I'm sure you guys have gone through this, where you haven't slept a lot, then you had what seemed like a hard workout, you haven't been eating well, you haven't been drinking a lot of water, so all these things were kind of compromised, and then you did what you deemed a hard workout. It might have been easy any other time, but stacked up with all these other things that you were compromised with, all of a sudden you come down with a cold. Like I feel it coming. Like I know, I'm like, damn it. I'm about to go down, and then I can just kind of go through this checklist. I haven't been eating well. I've been missing meals. Haven't been doing my vitamins or anything. I slept like crap the last 3 days. I drank like 0 to no water. And that workout felt exceptionally hard today. And then it's like, all right, I'm stacking the cards against me here. So healthy fats like olive oil, salmon, avocado, chia seeds, coconut oil help reduce inflammation. Okay. Oh, I got some comments. What do we got? Great comment, Keith. Is sleep total hours in a row, or is it total throughout the day? Ideally, it's in a row, so you can get into REM sleep. Like if you wear like so this is a Whoop strap, which breaks down my sleep. It tells me how many times I moved during the night. It tells me like it can tell me like out of the 6-7 hours I'm sleeping, I was in REM or deep sleep for like an hour. And so the idea is to get more REM sleep as much as possible. But if you have to, like for example, if you slept only 5 hours, if you only slept 5 hours and you have the ability to take a nap for an hour or two, absolutely do it. So it's better than not getting accumulatively 7-8 hours of sleep. Casey asks, is there a point where the body can get too much healthy fats? Yes. This goes with kind of everything in life, but right now it should be about like 30% of your diet, unless you're going like keto, which is like what is it, like 60-70% of your diet. So we typically we're about 30% of your diet should be healthy fats. So real quick, one of the things I wanted to mention is coconut oil. Coconut oil is really interesting. And a lot of this stuff is a little homeopathic, but coconut oil contains lauric acid, which is antifungal and antiviral when you use it externally. So like, you know, if you have like some lotion or something that's like derived of coconut oil, you're killing once again, you're killing viruses, you're killing fungus, you're killing bacteria. The issue being, once again, is like anti-bacteria is killing all bacteria. This is kind of the issue. You know, this is one of the drawbacks to something like, you know, like penicillin and other antibiotics, is you're killing good bacteria along with the bad bacteria. So if you don't get good bacteria in check in your gut, the bad bacteria can come back and basically it creates like a breeding ground for bad bacteria. And I'm not sure if some of you guys have heard of Candida, but that's a bacteria, a bad bacteria that it's a yeast, and it grows out of control. So when we're eating a lot of processed carbohydrates, you can actually, like, it creates a breeding ground for this bacteria called Candida, and that could wreak havoc on your body. And it's linked to a lot of autoimmune diseases. And that's like one of the first things, if you get diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, is going on like an anti-Candida diet, trying to kill everything. But, let me see, what do we got? Yeah, so did I just hit that, Casey? Yeah, so healthy fats and Candida, as far as I know, I would have to look, but I don't see the correlation there between healthy fats and Candida. Okay, so Candida is
two different questions.
Oh, okay. So yes. So let me look at your question again. Man, where to go? There we are. All right. So could there be a point where the body getting too many healthy fats or yes. So okay, Candida's Candida's a fungus that grows inside the body. It's a yeast, and that's what it's a yeast infection inside, really, is what it is. And I'm calling it a bacteria because it typically starts getting out of control if you're eating too many processed foods, or a lot of times people start the process of getting something like candida because they just got off like a some sort of medication, you know, some sort of like penicillin or something, where it's killing all the bacteria in the body. And then what grows faster happens to be the bad stuff, and it basically overpowers the good bacteria, the good. So the one thing I wanted to tell you about coconut oil, guys, is it also contains something called I might chop this up, monolaurin, which has been shown to kill pathogens. So it's like an antiviral internally as well. Now, maybe what is it called? I forget the term for this. I've tried it a couple times. I just couldn't do it. But there's a lot of people, and comment if you guys have heard of this, if you guys have done it. But where you take coconut oil and you literally like use it like a mouthwash, you swish it around. I believe it's called oil pulling, where you swish it around for like 10 minutes in your mouth. And it sounds easy, but try swishing something in your mouth for 10 minutes nonstop. And that was the hardest part for me, is I'm just not a patient person when it comes to that. But what that's doing is it's pulling all the bacteria, and it's killing everything, all the different bacterias and things in your mouth. It's almost like an antiseptic almost. It's killing everything, and then you spit it out, obviously. And so next, obviously, guys, eat more plants. Oil pulling tires out your jaw too. Yes. So I'm gonna have to look that up, Casey, because I drink apple cider vinegar every day, and obviously the sugar creates the mother in apple cider vinegar. So I don't know if vinegar feeds candida. I'll have to look into that. But yeah. So I'm not aware of that. Typically, you know, we work with a lot of people with MS, and so I'll tell you this: when it comes to the candida, my level of education, or I shouldn't say it like that, but basically what we focus on most is eating real foods. Okay, so we try to get those individuals off like the frozen dinners. We try to get them eating real natural food that had a face or grew in the ground, and get them off of a lot of processed stuff in order to kill this. So I will say, like, for the most part, it's creating a foundation of a healthy meal plan, right? It's I haven't really gone that much deeper into candida, except for what causes it. And a lot of times specific individuals are on medications that also kill you know, a lot of the bacteria in our body, and then they go and kind of compound the issue with then eating a lot of processed foods. So you're getting your questions are great. I'm just gonna have to look them up, because that's like a level deeper. I wasn't aware of vinegar. I know processed sugars. I know that causes it. Basically anything that would allow fungus to grow, bacteria to grow, which is anything that turns to sugar, which is your carbohydrates, you know, obviously table sugar, things like that. A lot of the, once again, processed foods that don't have a lot of fiber, that don't have a lot of nutritional value, tend to compound the problem. So, guys, a lot of the things we're going to talk about too. like especially like with supplementation, they kind of go back to a lot of the same things, like vitamin C, for example. And like, for example, a lot of people think orange or citrus for vitamin C, but a red bell pepper has 3 times the amount of vitamin C an orange does. So there's different there's different things we're trying to do with our fruits and vegetables. We're trying to, once again, take in a lot of different colors, take in a lot of different shapes and sizes. The more colors we have, the more vitamins and minerals we're getting. All right, and then that means we're getting all sorts of different antioxidants, which are going to help us combat like free radicals. And basically, free radicals, once again, are stuff that's easiest way to explain it is it's not like a true compound. It's like a broken up compound that once again comes from unnatural foods. A lot of it comes from unnatural foods. A lot of it comes from like pollution in the air. It's all this like this weird stuff that we've done, like crap in our water, not literally crap, but like, you know, different chemicals and things in our water, different stuff, pesticides and things in our food, different, you know, chemicals and things we put in food to make it taste better. It's all stuff the body was never intended to be ingesting. And now all of a sudden it is. So there's these things called antioxidants that are found in a lot of the natural foods we eat that help combat that, because all that stuff does, those free radicals and things, is it starts trying to destroy our cells. And what happens then is it causes inflammation. Basically, the body is trying to combat that, and it causes this inflammation. And then you have, you know, different fruits and vegetables coming in and kind of calming the storm, if you will. All right. So another big thing about fruits and vegetables is the fiber. You know, a lot of Americans don't get enough fiber, and they're calling our gut the second brain now. Because, guys, believe it or not, and this is something that's been like a mission of ours for a long time, but one of the things we always say, and we usually talk about this during Fit in 42, is most people don't realize what they eat kind of, how do I want to put it? What they eat creates how they feel. So a lot of times, you know, when we have that 2 p.m. crash, that's not natural. It's just maybe we didn't take in enough food. Maybe we're taking in food that burns up too quick. And maybe the food quality we're having is not sustaining us. So then what we normally turn for, what I call fake energy, which is coffee, sodas, anything for a pick-me-up. But that's not how it should be. It should be, we should have a steady stream of energy throughout the day because of how we started the day, the fuel we put into our body consistently throughout the day. We should be pretty level. Now, a lot of how we feel is dictated by our gut. And once again, we were talking about candida for a while now, and how, you know, this community of all these different bacteria in your stomach, you know, like they call it, once again, they're calling it the second brain. It's not like your brain's telling you you're hungry. Your stomach is releasing things to the brain, telling it we need something, or it could be it needs water, and the brain's seeing it as we're hungry. So they're almost working together. It's not the brain's in charge of everything. So this is something that they're finding now, is that you mess with the gut biome, and it throws the brain off. So it's not the brain's in charge of everything. It's more like a symbiotic relationship between the brain and the gut. And so the more different, the more different types of fruits and vegetables we're getting in, healthy fats, all of that is going to create this nice community inside the gut. And then fiber as well, scraping the lining of your intestines and stomach walls, getting out the trash, is going to create this great community that's going to keep us healthy. Okay. And now, so along with that, so we're talking about the gut some more. So if you're not a big fan, I'm Polish, so sauerkraut, that's what we do. And if you can, if sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, I don't even know what natto is, but Greek yogurt. The reason why we choose Greek yogurt, guys, over Dannon is because Dannon is so like pasteurized. Every good and bad thing that was in it is completely killed. Now, if you notice, if you go look at the Dannons tomorrow at the grocery store, it'll say with probiotics added. And why kill it and then re-add it when you can just go to the Greek yogurt, which still has the natural probiotics in it, the natural healthy bacteria in it. That's why we always ask you guys to go towards Greek yogurt over the other stuff. Okay, so this helps immensely with gut health. All right, this helps create that positive or that the good bacteria, and it helps it flourish. So they're saying, like, if you can do, so whether it's yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, like a spoonful a day. Just, I'm lucky. I have some Polish friends who can their own Greek or sauerkraut. And the cool thing about sauerkraut is it never goes bad. It just gets more sour. So more probiotics, just like your apple cider vinegar. It gets more vinegary the longer it sits. It gets more potent, if you will. So it doesn't go bad. It gets more potent. So about a tablespoon a day, and it should be good if you can. So sauerkraut's my go-to, and to be honest, I haven't been doing it every day, but I do the apple cider vinegar. I want to start. I have some. I just don't. So this is definitely a way to once again help your good gut biome. Yes, have sauerkraut, Patricia. It's cabbage, fermented cabbage. It's great. And then kimchi is the Korean version with a little more spice, obviously a lot of spice actually, but it's got a kick. All right, guys. So just to reiterate, we need to sleep more. Make sure you're taking in enough healthy fats. Make sure you're eating a ton of different fruits and vegetables. Guys, one of the things we preach all the time is a salad is just not chicken and some lettuce. We want 5 different vegetables. Ideally, there's a lot of color to it. I saw somebody's got some questions. Okay. So 2 great questions. How do I take my apple cider vinegar? And I do. So this could be completely placebo, but I don't believe so. The minute I feel something coming on, if I haven't been doing it regularly, what I do is 8 ounces of lukewarm water. I do a shot of lemon juice, basically like 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and then I do like a couple pinches of Himalayan sea salt. And I do that first. That's the first thing I drink in the morning. So I wake up, I drink that, and then like 10 minutes later, I try to drink a couple cups of water. And then, so my kids, so that's a pretty potent drink if for some reason you just can't take it. So I do this for my kids. Just put a lot of cinnamon in it. Then it makes it taste like apple cinnamon. And cinnamon is good for you. So like you can't overdo it. So now for them, it tastes like apple cinnamon, but like I said, it could be a placebo effect, but like, I know when like I'm battling something, when it burns on the way down. Because there's days it goes down smooth, and then there's other days where I feel it like burning my throat as it goes down. In my head, I'm saying, all right, I'm battling something. Like it's killing something on the way down. That's probably just my head. But yes, I could do that, Allison. All right. Can you have too much sauerkraut? Well, if you're Polish, that answer is no. Once again, it's cabbage. I've never seen it done, guys. Maybe, like, I don't know what would happen if you it's like, I don't know what would happen if you overdid it on fermented cabbage. I mean, but we eat a lot of it at certain times of year, and it's, I've never had an adverse effect. I've never said, man, I overdid it on that sauerkraut tonight. That's like, I don't think any one of us have said like, wow, I had too much salad tonight. You know, I don't think it's been done. I'm sure somebody out there has done it, but I haven't. All right. So now what I want to go over, guys, is all right, so we went over some of the things we can add. Once again, some fermented, some sauerkraut, some kimchi, a little bit of that. You can do my apple cider vinegar deal. We're eating more fruits and vegetables, eating more healthy fats, getting more sleep. So like none of this is revolutionary. All right, a lot of this hopefully is just a reminder. Yes, so D. Linus, you can have yogurt every day if it's in your, I don't know what you're doing inside our universe. If you're doing Fit in 42 right now, you can have Greek yogurt. That's one of the breakfasts, Greek yogurt, some berries. Otherwise, if you're not, that's still a great breakfast. Greek yogurt, berries, and the portions for you are in the meal plan. The appropriate portions for you, okay? So, but yes, that's a great breakfast. You could actually throw a couple tablespoons of Greek yogurt into a shake, and it makes it a lot thicker. I use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. So when I make the turkey chili, I'll throw some sour cream. I'll throw some Greek yogurt on top. Plain Greek yogurt tastes like sour cream. Yes, I will do that. So, you know what? I think this little life hack is worth the cost of admission for this this seminar. But do you guys realize that turkey chili, if you put it in like a brown rice tortilla, now it's a burrito. You take that same turkey chili and you put it on top of a salad, you got taco salad. So boom, one meal turns into 3 completely different things. Just so you know, like I said, that's definitely worth the cost of admission for this seminar. All right, I got some more questions. Can we substitute yogurt with cottage cheese on the meal plan? So you want to take the yogurt out and have the cottage cheese? Yes. Or you can do the reverse. Okay. Now, if you guys notice, all right, so here's something that pertains to what we're talking about. That that is kind of off topic at the same time. So in our Fit in 42 meal plan, cottage cheese is the only dairy product besides Greek yogurt. And the reason why Greek yogurt is okay for most people who are lactose intolerant is because of the probiotics that's in it. All right. Now, the reason why we put something else in there dairy-wise, the cottage cheese, is to show you, because there's a lot of people, you know, who eat a lot of dairy all the time, and they, you know, maybe they're not, maybe their joints are hurting a little bit, maybe they feel bloated, maybe, you know, they're farting a lot, like whatever. They don't, they're not associating it to dairy. And then all of a sudden we cut out most dairy, and then I add on one day, I add cottage cheese. And you'll find out real quick if that's been one of the culprits all along that's been making you feel these certain ways. If it made you feel bloated, if your joints are hurting, if your stomach's hurting after you eat it, if you have a lot of flatulence. So the idea was, it's an easy way to pinpoint, and then you can pull it right back out. And so this is exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about this is causing inflammation in the body. Certain foods we're eating causes inflammation, which means your body has to then attack and repair that, which leaves the rest of you open for attack with different viruses, bacteria, and whatnot. So the more we have like a anti-inflammatory diet, the more we're leaving our soldiers ready to battle the real fights, instead of going to something that you caused because you want to eat like crap. Or maybe you just know that something you're eating is having adverse effects on you, or your body just is intolerant of it. So now what I want to go over, guys, I want to go over some of the things oh, I'm sorry. I'm still going. I didn't do 7. Crap. Here we go. Sorry. So now we definitely want to limit added sugar. Sorry about that. So guys, right now, a lot of the people who are being really hit hard by this COVID virus are people who are immune compromised. And a lot of this, I'm sorry to say, is lifestyle choices. Not all, but a lot. I saw a stat, and there's, you know, and I get it, there's 1,000 stats going around every day, but like 48% of the deaths, these people were already immune compromised. I think it was 48% were obese, were considered obese. So that's huge. So this is all lifestyle choices. So especially now, and I'm preaching to the choir. So, but this is the time where I'm seeing people who are rising to the occasion and making this situation, they're making the best of it and make it work for them to where they're improving in certain areas of their lives that maybe they didn't have time for before, or they're continuing to improve on certain areas of their lives that were a focus before, and now it's still a focus now. So I'm seeing that, and I'm so thankful for that. But we're also seeing the other side, where people are so overwhelmed with this situation to where they're kind of throwing their hands up, and they're turning to they're making choices that they weren't making 8 weeks ago. It's almost like they're relapsing. A lot of people who come into our world are, you know, have goals of achieving some great things, and they want to leave this certain lifestyle they had behind. But I'm seeing certain people are turning back to that lifestyle right now. Maybe because they know it, maybe it's familiar, I don't know. But or maybe that's just the way they react to stress, and they're just overwhelmed. So they turn to, you know, not sleeping a lot, they're they're not moving enough. They're not doing everything they can do to keep themselves healthy. And so the worry is, once again, this is why I'm doing this. The worry is that we're not going to be out of the woods with this when things are going to open back up. Like I said, Texas, we're opening up a week from Monday. So I want to make sure that everybody who's planning on coming back is at least for a week kind of putting things back into place if they haven't been doing it this whole time. So added sugars, like look at the picture. It says enough. All our comfort foods, really. All right. Start limiting them. A cheat meal here and there, unless you're in Fit and 42, is completely okay. In Fit and 42, no cheat meals. So next, we beat this one. Like this horse has been dead 1,000 times over. But I can tell you, let's see, I'm going to drink some water right now. I can tell you, I'm not hitting a gallon a day. And I know I need to, and I feel it. I completely know when I'm short on water because all of a sudden I feel like I aged 10 years. And so I would almost like to do like a water challenge. Like, guys, for a whole week, get a gallon in and tell me how much better you feel. Because I personally feel like the Tin Man when I don't drink enough water. I don't know what that was. But I'm going to mute you all again. Somebody became unmuted. It's running rampant. So, all right, what do we got? I should be doing 2 gallons. Let me get to 1 gallon, and then I'll do 2. I've done 2, but that's basically like living in a bathtub and just slowly sipping it throughout the day until it's gone. Yeah, Linus, you like that one? Water challenge. Maybe we'll do that. Once again, I swear by it. I feel it. I feel like an old baseball mitt, just stiff and 1 ounce per pound. I never heard that. I heard one ounce per what? 200. That's 200 ounces. That's a gallon and a half. I'm 200 pounds. What do you think I weigh? 300 pounds? So, all right. So guys, stay hydrated. All right. So, like this says, check this out. It's not that this does anything from preventing, like viruses or getting colds, but it can hinder your performance, your focus, your mood. And then if it's hindering your performance and you're not working as optimally as you could, that's going to affect you, and it's going to tear you down, and there's going to be an adverse effect. And once again, it can lead to inadvertently lead to you getting sick. Let's see another. All right, so here's a big one, guys. Managing your stress. So I talked about earlier that some people almost in a way have kind of relapsed and have gone towards a lifestyle they were trying to leave behind. Or maybe, like, once again, they're just so overwhelmed that that's their go-to. They're emotional eaters. It's comfort, but it's all because of stress. All right. So, I'm typically not. I'm not somebody that gets depressed too often. I'm typically an optimist, but I would definitely, one of the things I do that I definitely think helps is, one, when I wake up, I say 5 things I'm grateful for. And the game is not to repeat them. Because I could say my immediate family, and there's 5 people. I can say that every day. Right. So, I'm including Jerry and Shanice, by the way, and Sloan. So there's 6 people. So I could say that every day. And so after a while, it kind of loses its luster, right? So the game is every day, try to figure out 5 new things you're grateful for. And it could be like your pillow. So it's perfect for you. It could be anything. But the idea is just to look towards, all the blessings you do have and not necessarily focus on a lot of the negative that's out there. Now, one of the things I literally just did today, because I was talking to my wife, and turns out she had mentioned how she took Facebook off her phone. And I can tell you, I don't know why, but the last couple of days, I felt myself being more and more on Facebook, like than I absolutely needed to be. And that's just kind of like a black hole of time. It doesn't get you anywhere. It gets you riled up. You see everybody's opinions, and, obviously you have opinions of their opinions, and it gets you nowhere. So based upon my wife's recommendation of what she did, she deleted Facebook from her phone. So now I have to go on the computer, which is a pain in the butt, just to comment on somebody else's stuff. No. So it's just an added step. And I'm somebody where, the least amount of steps possible is how I make sure things get done. You add a step or 2 and it won't get done. So so this just added a step for me to get on the Facebook. And really, there's not much downside to what I just did. There's a ton of upside in maintaining my own mental health, and not getting drawn into a lot of the just what Facebook's all about right now. So that's something I could tell you. I'm not a big meditator personally. I know some people swear by it. But I am a first thing in the morning exercise guy. I need to get it out of the way. This way I make sure nothing else will get in my way. So I know, like a lot of people, it's easy to put yourself on the back burner. And so when it comes to work and other things and family, like if I don't do it before everybody wakes up, there's a high likelihood that it's not going to get done that day. So I have to do it first thing in the morning, and then it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. Another one that I've tried before, I'm not currently doing, is journaling. Like first thing in the morning, just you can set your own time, 5 minutes, 10, 20, 30 minutes, but just brain dump anything that comes to mind. Just get it out. And it's just kind of, it's helping you like clear your mind of anything, as I heard it put, it's getting all the residue out. So anything from the day before, like I've also heard do this right before bed, get everything out. And so this is one of the things that I'll do is I'll write out my day for tomorrow. Like, oh, tomorrow I got to go grocery shop and I got to get this, and this. Oh, I need to call Jerry about this. I'll write that all down. Otherwise, there's a good chance, A, I might forget it, or B, that's just sitting in my head while I'm trying to go to sleep. And so like just get it out so your brain's kind of empty, for lack of a better way of putting it. So there they are. So really watch, and you guys know yourselves better than we know you on how you deal with your stress. Just really be aware of that. And it's crazy, but like psychological stress can can really compromise your immune system. And it's so wild that just thoughts can have a physical reaction on the body. And so for those of you guys who've done Fit in 42, and especially when I do them, there's an exercise I normally do where I have you close your eyes and visualize, and I have you stand on, or I explain that you're standing on a skyscraper. And I get very visual with that, and I explain what's under your feet. I tell you to look down, and it's crazy. Everyone's eyes are shut, and I'll mention the wind's blowing, and you'll see people sway. I'll tell people to look down. I'm like, walk to the edge. There's no railing. You put your feet right up against the edge. Now I want you to look down, and you'll see people literally lean back. And so when we get done with this exercise, I ask people how they felt, and people will say like, man, I'm sweaty. And I'm like, guys, we're sea level. Like, that was all in your head. And yeah, while this seems a little extreme, I had you visualize you're on a skyscraper, but how many times do we do that a day? How many times do we automatically go, our head goes to like, what if I ask this question to my boss or this girl I like or whatever the situation, and we immediately think the most negative answer possible is going to come back at us, and it makes us, and it's all fake. It's something we just made up in our head. I mean, I have 2 little kids right now. You know how many monsters are in the closets and under the beds? That's all in their heads, and they're freaking out. So it's crazy what the brain can physically do to the body. Just thoughts. So really watch that, guys, because it can. And I mean, we all know people who are, like I said, who are really affected by this, and who are just, taking every precautionary measure they can, and they feel like that's not even enough. I have members who haven't left the house at all. I have a member who kicked out her her son, because he left the house once. She's like, don't come back. So don't come back until this is over. So he's living at a friend's house. So like there's people so people are taking this really seriously, and people can be really affected by all the thoughts they're thinking about this whole situation. So just be aware of that, and we always say, try to control what you can control, and try to let go of the things you can't control. And just focus on the things you can't control. You can control what you do with your body. You can control what you eat that day, how much sleep you get. Focus on that. We don't know what mandates are coming down. We don't know, just focus on the things you can't control. All right. So now, briefly, I want to go over some of the things that could be affecting us, or some of the some of the comforts we might be going towards, and just shed some light on what it does to the immune system. So I'm a kid of the 80s, and these are like all my favorite villains. So hopefully this cultural reference didn't miss its mark. But these are all my favorite cartoons, and all the villains from my favorite cartoons as a kid. And so these are some of our dietary enemies right now. So obviously fast food. So one of the things about fast food is with all the inflammation, the way I saw it written, I loved it. It's putting your body on high alert. All right. One of you escaped mute. Let me mute you again, all of you. So I'm not gonna, there we go. All right, so I loved the way it was put in this one article I read. Was it is allowing, or not allowing, like fast food and different things are putting your body on high alert. So that resonated with me once again with the whole military analogy is your immune system's on high alert all the time when you're eating all these inflammatory foods, and it's weakening your immune system because at some point they need to chill out, they need to relax. Like they can't be on high alert all the time, right? So next is alcohol. All right. So there's something called there's a component of the immune system that breaks down the foreign invaders we talked about earlier, and alcohol messes with that. Alcohol kind of throws that all off, and it throws off the production of your white blood cells, your T cells and B cells, which are your white blood cells. Now, this is something that I think we could all resonate with. It throws off your circadian rhythms, basically your sleep patterns. So you would think a depressant, a downer like alcohol would make you sleep great. But like if you really think back, you were restless during that sleep. Your body can't get into REM sleep. And that's the problem, is because it's all thrown at, it's your circadian rhythm's all thrown off. So if you can't get into deep sleep, your immune system, your body is not fully repairing. So it's like you missed that opportunity to strengthen your body, and in fact, you weakened it a little more. All right, so MSG. Now this is something. I did a little research because when I saw MSG was listed as one of the ways that weakens your immune system, I'm like, all right, Chinese food, not a big deal. I don't know how many of us are eating Chinese food on a regular basis, but then it started labeling all these Doritos, Pringles. Most pizza chains use MSG, your healthy meals. The frozen quote unquote healthy meals in the grocery store, the TV dinners, Campbell's chicken soup. I was like, what? Deli meat. I didn't realize all these foods had MSG in them. So what MSG does is it causes oxidative stress to both the thymus and the spleen, and it disrupts them both from functioning. So they produce fewer T cells, fewer white blood cells. And if you remember, they're also in charge of kind of finding the foreign enemies inside your body. So that's all thrown out of whack. Now we're not making more white blood cells, and we're not, it's kind of like our radar man who's supposed to be making sure no bad guys are getting in is kind of drunk and not present. So it's disrupting everything. And so one thing I definitely wanted to mention. So I know we did how to read labels the other night for a seminar, but this was pretty eye-opening. So I haven't seen MSG on a label in a long time, but I'll tell you what, I didn't know it's also E621. So I was like, holy cow. So it's either going to be labeled as MSG or E621. So next time you're looking, and if you're trying to see if you can spot MSG, it'll be labeled as one of those. So that was pretty eye-opening, that E621, which I don't know if I've bought anything. I probably have, because I didn't know what the hell E621 is. And therefore potentially compromising my immune system a little bit. All right, so what we got? Yes, they are sneaky, for sure. All right, guys, gluten. So this is same thing about dairy is a lot of people, you know, there's gluten insensitivity, or gluten sensitivity, I should say. It doesn't mean you have celiac disease where you eat a piece of bread, you can die. Like it's very similar to dairy in the fact where you'll feel bloated, your joints will ache. And this is why. First of all, people just don't realize that the whole grains our grandparents ate are not the whole grains we're eating now. And there's even arguments to say our health started to deteriorate the minute we started farming whole grains. So that's another topic for another time, but let's just tell you what gluten does to the body. All right. First of all, it's hard to digest. It's a wheat protein. Okay. And it actually, you'll know something if you've ever had a gluten-free bread as opposed to like regular wheat bread. Regular wheat bread is so like squishy and soft. That's because of the gluten. And a lot of different recipes add gluten to it for that texture. Okay. Now, if you've had like brown rice bread, for example, you can throw it through a window. It's very dense. It's like a rock. Like there is no, same thing with brown rice tortillas. They don't bend, they snap in half. It's like a chip, you know, like there's no give to it. So what gluten does, it triggers the production of a protein called, I'm going to chew this up, zonulin, which breaks down the cells of your intestinal wall. All right, so now we have this protein breaking down the cells of our intestinal wall, and that allows toxins, food particles, whatever, an easier time to get into your bloodstream, which means your body has to then, this is a foreign invader. These things are foreign invaders inside your blood. That means your white blood cells have to go to work and attack it and get rid of it. All right? So one of the things I added here was you don't have to just have celiac disease to be affected by this. You can still experience gastrointestinal symptoms. Once again, flatulence, bloating. Joints may ache depending on how sensitive you are. Those are just some of the symptoms that you may feel from this. Gluten, yes. Great. I like the pun. So, all right, and then refined cooking oils, guys. All right, this is there's only a few we really should be using. I mean, I should take that back. There's quite a few that are good, but what we want to make sure is they're not refined. Okay. Once again, these are creating free radicals in the body. These half broken down compounds that are floating around the body, and that's what we take in antioxidants to try to destroy, which causes inflammation. So typically we want to stay like extra virgin olive oil is good. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. Coconut oil is good, specific situations, avocado oil, but we want to stay away from the Crisco. Like that's one off the top of my head. You know, the vegetable oil, and canola oil, like a lot of that stuff is just been processed like crazy, and it's a shell of its former self. And even like there's a whole list when I was looking this up, but like corn oil, there's, I guess anything can be made out of oil, but basically, guys, make sure that it's not refined. And so, I mean, if you think about it, you can literally do, like in one meal, you can be doing like all these things, right? You can have like your beer with you know, some sort of, like I said, pizza, you know, that has MSG in it. It's got, you know, it's obviously a fast food. It's probably made with some refined cooking oil. So it's pretty wild that like it doesn't necessarily, you're not going to have to, in certain cases, unless you bought the cooking oil yourself, in certain cases, if you're avoiding one of these things, you're avoiding most of them in most cases. So just be aware. And like I said, the whole point of this is we're working out. You know, a lot of the things I talked about that we can be doing for our health are not scientific breakthroughs. Sleeping better, managing our stress, eating more plants, getting more healthy fat into our body, drinking more water. Like this, like I just hope you have a better understanding of what the immune system does, how it works, and kind of especially some of these dietary enemies, as I call them, like what they do to the body and how they cause how they wreak havoc. And that if you haven't, and then so the goal is to be doing most of the things consistently, most of the things that we talked about: working out, eating well, you know, managing your stress, drinking water, eating more healthy fats, eating more plants, fruits and vegetables, you know, getting all those in, doing most of those, so that, like, yeah, we can have a slice of pizza or two every now and again. We can have a beer every now and again. It's not going to destroy us. But now, if you're not doing most of the things we could be doing well, you're not sleeping a lot, you're drinking like zero water, you're missing a lot of meals. Most of your meals come, you know, from a box or a package. These things are going to compound, and then all of a sudden, on top of the fact that our immune systems are a little weaker right now because they're not facing a lot of they're not in combat really, because we're killing everything we possibly can. Then when we go back out, it might affect us a lot more. So I just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can. And I'm not telling you to start, you know, like licking doorknobs or anything, but definitely try to do most of these things well. The things that are going to keep us strong, and try to really limit the things that are going to weaken our immune system, so that we are as strong as we can be when we're allowed to go out and run wild. So, that being said, are there any questions? Right now, what I will do, I know one of the things I'll do is, I'm going to write to everyone right now. I'll put that my apple cider vinegar recipe. So it's ACV. All right. So 8 ounces of water, shot of lemon juice, and then 2 tablespoons of ACV, apple cider vinegar. First time I saw that, I was like, what is ACV? What is that? Apple cider vinegar. And then a dash, or let me say this. Yeah, 2 pinches of, I do pink Now there's other good sea salts too. There's like a black sea salt I heard is really good. Just can't find it. Um, and then so optional is cinnamon. Boom. Awesome. So I'll leave that up for a minute. Yeah, you can I get the apple cider vinegar at any grocery store. It had the Bragg's. That's fine. I do know, I forget which gym it was, but a year or two ago, the big thing was we had a lady who was going around making her own kombucha, and which is great. A lot of probiotics and prebiotics in there, which is also a yeast, just like Candida, but it's like a good yeast. But yeah, she was bringing like homemade kombucha around, and so I don't know if you guys know what like what creates this. It's once again it's this yeast, but they call it the mother. It's this big slimy mass, and they start off small. Like if I had a big one, I can give each of you a little piece, and then all you do is keep feeding the sugar, and it turns into this thing, and it eats up the sugar and then releases, the main ingredients of kombucha. And so it's pretty interesting. How much cinnamon? As much cinnamon as you like. You, it, you know, so we've messed up a lot of times, and literally, like it's a floating powder, like the kids dumped it in there by accident, and like a lot. It's just very cinnamony, but just it all depends. Cinnamon's great for you. I mean, it's a good ingredient regardless if you can handle the taste and flavor of apple cider vinegar. But it's optional if you're fine with the way apple cider vinegar tastes. Now, here's something, guys. Lemon juice is very is known to like chew up the enamel on your teeth. So if you like, I've been meaning to buy a straw for the longest time, but I haven't been using a straw, but I try not to swish it around in my mouth because it's something I try to do every day. But believe it or not, lemon juice is very alkaline, and it helps with, once again, it definitely helps with getting rid of inflammation. There's a lot of benefits to like apple cider vinegar and like this concoction. For me, it's for gut health, but there's all sorts of which could be anecdotal, but a lot of people believe there are fat loss qualities. A lot of people believe it does buffer a lot of the acidity in the body with the alkalizing effects of like the lemon juice. So let me stop. There we go. I can see you guys. Boom. All right. So any other questions, guys? Let me stop sharing. There we are. Anything? Yeah. Not the most fun topic for a Friday night. Maybe next Friday we'll come up with something a little more exciting, really get the party going. But I thought it was very important to do this, considering we're all, we're going to be opening up soon. And and I want us to all be prepared and just ready. And I know a lot of this stuff was a refresher for you guys, but maybe pass some of it along to those people who maybe not be aware. That's always something good to do, is just give unwarranted advice to people. Just random advice. You know what you should do with your life? You should drink apple cider vinegar in the morning. So that always goes over well. Those sentences that start with, you know what you should do. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, enjoy. Hopefully the rest of your Friday night is a little wilder than this. So, but thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you so much for supporting us during all this, and hopefully we're giving a lot back, and hopefully we'll continue to do so, and hopefully we'll be seeing all you guys in person real soon. This is fun, but you guys are a lot cooler in person. So enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. Try to make it to the workouts tomorrow morning. Enjoy your Sunday. Sunday's completely off. I think we don't quote me on this, but I don't think there's a workout on Sunday. Maybe there's a stretch. I'm not sure. I'm sure some of you guys would know. But otherwise, guys, enjoy the weekend. Work out tomorrow morning, and then enjoy the rest of the weekend. For those of you who are interested, there are UFC fights Saturday nights. I don't know if any of you guys partake or like to watch, but it's the first and only sport that's going to be on TV. And obviously it's on pay-per-view, and they're going to make trillions of dollars. So good for them. And so I will definitely be supporting them with my dollars. So guys, have a great night. Love you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.